When you think of the places with the best theme parks, you'd most likely be thinking about USA, Europe, or maybe even China or Japan. However, a major continent which is filled with some world-class theme parks and coasters and is overlooked by a lot of enthusiasts is Australia. Therefore, in this video, we shall be having a look at Australia's theme parks and what makes them underrated when compared to European and American parks. Australia's theme park industry mainly relies on 7 main parks, the majority of which are operating along the Gold Coast. Without any further waiting, let's go through Australia's most impressive parks. Warner Brothers Movie World is perhaps one of the best theme parks in the country. Out of the park's 5 operating coasters, this rivals Hypercoaster is undoubtedly the park's standout Mack Hypercoaster. Superman Escape, wait, that's wrong footage. It's an Intamin launch coaster which has been towering over the park's entrance since 2005. Wild West Falls is a heavily themed water ride built around an incredibly themed show building. Move World also has 3 new coasters opening in 2024 as part of the park's new Wizard of Oz themed area. In brief, this is basically a Six Flags park, however with much better theming, that's for sure. And before we move on to the next theme park, make sure to like and subscribe, it would mean the world to me. Dreamworld is Australia's largest theme park, including its water park, which is found within the park itself. This park is just a 10-minute drive from Warner Brothers Movie World, also located within the Gold Coast. In terms of coasters, Dreamworld has a good 1-2 punch of Steel Taipan and the Gold Coaster. Steel Taipan, which is also the latest coaster addition, is a clone of Blue Fire at Europa Park, with a switch track and a spike at the beginning of the ride. Gold Coaster is a 2001 arrow looping coaster, whose layout stretches down into the water park section. In terms of theming, I have to be honest, Dreamworld could do better. SeaWorld Gold Coast is yet another theme park based around the Gold Coast. Its newest coaster, Leviathan, is a Gravity Group wooden coaster. This opened in 2022 with a completely new themed area. Most of the park is built facing towards the lake, which acts as the park's centerpiece. SeaWorld also has arguably the best themed ride in the country, this being Storm Coaster, a Mack water coaster which is themed to a beach rescue after a storm. Luna Park Sydney is Australia's oldest and most compact operating park. Having survived various fires and changes of ownership, the park is still open today and features 4 operating coasters, the newest being an Intamin single rail coaster with 3 inversions. This coaster was named Big Dipper, in remembrance of the iconic Big Dipper, which was later relocated to Dreamworld and named Gold Coaster. Wild Mouse is the park's traditional wooden Wild Mouse coaster, which opened back in 1995. Unfortunately, Wild Mouse has been down for maintenance since August of last year. 3 other decent parks in Australia are Adventure World, Gombaya World and Luna Park Melbourne, but we'll talk about them in a minute. Anyways, it's now time for the spicy part of the video, to compare these parks with those in Europe and America. Now obviously, since Cedar Fair alone operates almost double the considerable theme parks in Australia, won't be comparing their rides to the very best to keep things fair as much as possible. Firstly, let's begin with the coasters. Australia's best coasters are probably DC Rivals Hypercoaster, Superman Escape, Leviathan and Steel Taipan. But how will they compare to other European and American coasters? That's why I asked you to compare these coasters. To begin with, DC Rivals Hypercoaster is a Mack Hypercoaster, so therefore it's quite hard to compare. The only other coaster with this model in Europe is an unconstructed Project Exodus. So, I had to find coasters which, despite having a different coaster model, would still create a fair comparison. We began with the UK's next tallest roller coaster, where you said DC Rivals. Hyperion at Energylandia fought it out to get a tie. DC Rivals was preferred from Condat Walibi Belgium, as the same could be said for Expedition GeForce at Germany's holiday park. Next up, we went over to Dreamworld to compare their Mack coaster Steel Taipan, which is a near clone of Blue Fire Mega Coaster. This made for an obvious comparison between these 2 rides. Steel Taipan Spike just got it over the line. Intamin Superman Escape was preferred over Rita. I mean, who even likes Rita? However, Hershey Park Storm Runner dominated when up against Superman Escape. That launch really looks snappy. In terms of investment and Australia getting a new standout coaster, you said it's more likely to happen in 2026 or in years further on the future. This investment, however, can be seen at Gumbaya World with the addition of 2 new coasters to their lineup, Project Zero and TNT. When do you think Australia will get their new standout coaster? Comment below. I'll see you from Paris.